also know the facts about everything that we get involved in. The world is evolving, the digital space is evolving, and so is money. And one of the things that is now happening is that there is a great, wonderful phenomenon called cryptocurrency, but it's very little understood amongst people who have fears that it might be just another wave of scam. It might be another. I'm not going to name all these other pyramid schemes that people have been exposed to, things that have taken people's life savings, etc. But cryptocurrency is a real thing. We have partnered with a house of crypto. You may remember last year we first initially had an interview with them, with the co-founder, Mr. Soyiso Mpunzi, and he came through and really wowed us with the facts about cryptocurrency. So we felt it would be important to expand more and have more engagements, taking one bite at a time out of this elephant that is cryptocurrency, in order for us to be able then to understand it fully. And in doing so, giving knowledge and wisdom to everybody who will then be able to participate and freely go into cryptocurrency investment, knowing more than what they did before. So again, we welcome Mr. Mpunzi. Soyiso, kunjani mfowethu?
Brussels, all right now.
Right, I'm back, and thank you so much for joining us namhlanje mfowethu.
You're welcome.
Let's start at the beginning. Before we get into cryptocurrency, we need to understand who you are and what you represent. So tell us a bit about your personal background, and then about what House of Crypto is and what it represents.
Thank you so much, Selungs. And hello to Kithngese Radio fans and followers. Well, basically, if you're looking at the space of what the world is going right now, and why a House of Crypto had to exist, is very fundamental. For instance, we are a House of Crypto. We represent the digital space. We want to make sure that those who are not aware of what this thing is are then put into place and are aware that the world has now changed. Technology is taking over. In fact, it has taken over. A lot of things are now can be done. Advancement of technology. So it's not enough to now know technology, but your technology advance with the movement of the world, because the world is moving very, very fast. So if we're gonna tilt things slowly, check this thing out the next 4 or 5 years, we might get there. And if there was an opportunity that came with that, as well, miss it. So we are a House of Crypto, and House of Crypto represents a lot of the community. What does House of Crypto want with the community? We just want to make sure that if there's an opportunity somewhere in the crypto space, in the digital space, of that. We came to be because we saw the need and the cry. People are like, I've done this, my money did not come back, this happened and whatnot. So out of my extensive work and research and experience, I decided, no, man, I think it's due that we have something that's going to represent our people in East London and surrounding places. And then I thought, okay, why? There are many ways one can be involved in cryptocurrency. So let's call it House of Crypto, man. House of Crypto must be something that represents us and talks a lot about cryptocurrencies as the world is moving that direction. Money is changing. And so the best way we can do is to teach our people about what's happening in the world and how to position yourself with what is happening in the world. So House of Crypto was like, okay, let's do this. Let's open an office here where everyone is welcome. Talk to people about House of Crypto. Talk to people about what cryptocurrencies are. What to invest, how to really invest your money. What does investment actually mean? So there's a lot of things that House of Crypto deals with. which I'm sure for the duration of many radio interviews we're going to have, people are just going to be aware of. But that's what House of Crypto is. We're creating a community of entrepreneurs around East London and surrounding areas. If you want to be an entrepreneur, man, you're gonna link up with House of Crypto. if you wanna, if you want money coming to you, but the most important thing, percent, is that it's education. There's no way you're gonna earn without learning. We always say learn, then earn. So House of Crypto is an educational platform for us to learn how to earn. Simply put.
Nice, nice. And you're obviously passionate about cryptocurrency. Where does that come from?
um, it, it, it came from understanding buying power. What happens when you have money? Because if I've got 100,000 rands today and I can buy 100 items, the fact that in the next 12 months the same 100,000 now buys 7 items, the same items I bought that were 10 are now 7. That means my money, which is still 100,000 rands, has lost value.
Mm,
You
mm,
understand? It cannot do the
mm,
same thing it did. The same items I bought 12 months back, I can't buy them with the same amount of money. So that's loss of buying power. And so all we want in a currency is not just the units, how much you have. We want what money can do. So this thing about
mm,
cryptocurrency then came about when I learned about this thing. Damn, this thing has got buying power. Looking at how it can grow from one year to the next. Number two, this thing is not affected by inflation. Okay, now
mm.
that was the whole thing for me. How is this thing not affected by inflation? Now I started to learn about the characteristics of cryptocurrencies. Like, okay, what backs this thing up? What gives it so much power? And where does it come from? Why did it start? What problems did it come to address? How good is it doing now to address those problems? Now, when I got that, I was still employed. I was still working, and then every time I have 10 minutes free, I'll just go on the laptop and research about this thing and study this thing. And then up until I realized, no man, I want this currency. I want to be part of the evolution. I want to be part of the technology money. So how can I best position myself? You see, and then from there I realized, no man, I want to be part of. So how cryptocurrencies then became a light, and I started to know that in fact there's thousands and thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies, and then it's up to an individual to say, look, I'm building my crypto portfolio, and I'm gonna start with these ones and stuff like that, which is something obviously we're gonna be talking about as time goes on. But that's the thing. I studied it to learn what can I get out, what value can I get out of
Yeah,
cryptocurrencies. So I
yeah.
started around 2000 and in fact hearing for the first time about it was 2016, but I started around 2018.
Nice, nice. So let's get into a bit about crypto because people need to understand the history of how money has behaved over the course of time. I know
Yeah.
initially we used to have a barter trade system.
Oh
If
yeah.
I have cows when unombona, and one of my neighbors, another neighbor, has chickens,
Mm.
we have pretty much a full meal there between the three of us. So when I slaughter a cow, umkhona oyi-one uza kuwe. When you harvest umbona, some of it comes to me. And when our
Mm.
neighbor slaughters chickens, or when the eggs, they grow enough so that then we get some chickens, and that's a form of currency, the
Yeah.
value of
Yeah.
which was created by the need that we
Mm.
have mutually.
Mm. Mm.
um, Money likewise has had the same thing. Tell us a bit about the evolution of money and how it has become so important to have cryptocurrencies as part of the trading system.
I almost said amen when you said that. This look, Praluz, this is the reality of it. If we do not talk, I like the question you just asked now about the evolution of money, because
Yes.
if we cannot tackle that and talk about that, the evolution of money, then we won't see the essence of cryptocurrencies. You see,
Sure.
so that question for me is our first question when we talk about anything when it comes in our office house, in our company house of crypto. So if you look at, like you've mentioned, the system of trading, of exchanging goods and services was the bartering system, and that
Mm.
system was good for its time, because it did have some disadvantages. For instance, if
Yes.
there's famine somewhere in our area, and there's not been rain, crops have been destroyed, it means for us now to get maize meal, we have to get on horses or walk certain kilometers. So you could not access some goods and services by the time you want them.
Yes.
Number two, if there is war in a certain region where you want your product, you cannot go there because of that. So
Mm.
there's a lot of things that would affect that system, but it did work, and it transcended to something else. Then people started seeing value in the coin. Let's exchange. How much is this and stuff like that? It went from there. It was good also for that period of time. Also, it had its own advantages and also its disadvantages, because no one could actually ascertain value. No one would put value to anything. You have a coin, let's exchange, let's do this. So there was not much value going on there. You
Sure.
see,
Sure.
and then when we come straight now to when they introduced paper money, now they wanted to bring value. Okay, I'm gonna price this microphone. I'm gonna price this this building, the paint. I'm gonna put value to it. And now the question is, where does the money to pay comes from? Now that's where the Reserve Bank started, all over the world to say, okay, now let's print money for the market. Let's print money and borrow this money to the bank as the Reserve Bank. Let's lend this money to the commercial banks. Now, the commercial banks are going to lend this money to the consumers and then pay us our money. Whilst we lend from the commercial banks and pay the interest rate, the commercial banks then give the Reserve Bank back their money. So there was supply of money. The supply of money started like that. And
Okay.
the problem with that is that there is no limit to the supply of money. You see, that's why there is no limit to the supply of money. The Reserve Bank keeps on supplying the money, but then if you look at the market, there is not that much demand of the money that is being supplied by the Reserve Bank. So now it means money is not scarce. That's fundamental. It means money is not scarce. So if money is not scarce, it means money is easily accessible. I'm not talking about
Okay.
the scarcity I'm referring to is not this one of you can just go to your boss and say, hey, so said money is not scarce, give me a raise. you know, we, we're not we're not talking about that
we,
one. You
we're
see,
not, we are by no means saying.
no, 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 no. Don't get me in trouble. so, so, so this money became not a scarce commodity in that fashion that it was oversupplied um by the government or by the Reserve Bank. And then from there, we're looking at then, okay, fine, if money is there, how is the usage? What are the people using the money and stuff like that? How are they using the money? So people must carry this, to make a payment, you must carry 100,000 rands, go count it. That also had its disadvantages. You can get robbed, your money can be lost, your money can burn, and a whole lot of things. And then we started using card payments. I mean, card payments was a thing. It was the thing when you have a card to make a transaction. It was the thing. And then from there, we started doing EFTs. You just go on your laptop or cell phone, you punch in
Yes.
the details, and money goes through. So whether someone now is in Cape Town or wherever, you can still make a payment. I mean, that's how crazy the world has. I mean, who does not have a bank card today? An old mama or an old tata who does not know how to use a smartphone has a bank card. They know how to use the bank card. Okay, they're trying to catch up. So, and then from there, we now move to say, okay, this is the big question now. Has this thing helped in the advancement of world economy? Is it good enough? Is it good enough? The question is no. Now, if you remember in 2008, when we were faced with the global recession, so everything went to a standstill. Stocks were plummeting.
A lot of things fell apart for a lot of people who were heavily invested at the time.
Exactly. I mean, country after country were on their knees. Other countries asking for rescue from other countries. That's how bad the global recession was.
If I'm not mistaken, Greece even went bankrupt as a nation.
Yeah, as a nation. Imagine. That's how bad things are. Now the question is, okay, we have seen the problem. What can we do? And then this guy now called a group of guys first. They called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto. And these guys said, no, man, what has just happened to the world? One, money is not scarce in the world, it's oversupplied. So what could cause global recession? If money is available in quantities that cannot be measurable, why are we faced with this pandemic of global recession and whatnot? The question there is, one, inflation. What caused that? What caused the rapid increase in prices? Look, viewers, this is what happens. If there's an oversupply of money, the government or the Reserve Bank is supplying money, but then in the market, there's not demand for the money that's not supplied. You're causing the money that you have supplied to lose value. Now, that means you can have 100 rands in your hands, but the 100 rands is worth nothing because of inflation. Inflation being that whatever you're going to buy with the money is not going to be enough to satisfy the needs that you wanted, that you thought will equate to the value of 100 rands.
In simple terms, in simple terms, if I have somebody selling oranges for me at the market, and I've given them, let's say 1,000 oranges, and they're only able to sell. Yesterday, they're only able to sell 100, so they've still got 900 oranges to sell. And today, I bring them another 1,000 oranges.
You got it. I like it. You see,
clearly, we're gonna have a problem of keeping them fresh, and the demand hasn't changed. She's only gonna sell another 100 today, and be left with 1,800 oranges. On the third day, I bring another 1,000 oranges.
You see, you haven't stopped supplying. You haven't stopped, but your supply does not meet with the demand.
Yes.
You see, and then the oranges are gonna be obsolete. And if you continue selling them, your customers are going, no, man, you're selling bad oranges, and
exactly.
You understand? Exactly. That's what happens with money.
Sure.
That's what happens, man. No, these guys now started looking at the problems now, and then this concept of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, which was the first cryptocurrency we created, came to. Okay, fine. Then, what can we do? What do we want? We want a currency that's not affected by inflation. We want a currency that's going to be scarce. That's going to have a limited number to supply to the market. It must be limited. It must be a scarce resource. Obviously, scarcity is not one of the features it was created with. It became scarce because of the limited number of supply. So,
right,
it must have a limited number of supply. Number two, it must be borderless. It means it must not be South African currency, Nigerian currency, American currency, or Chinese currency. it must be a global currency. That means if you have this currency and you're in America, you can just still do a transaction anywhere on the face of the earth. You can still do it. So they wanted now to solve the issues they saw with the global recession. That's how Bitcoin came to be. What were the problems we saw with global recession? Global recession. It means if there are sanctions that are imposed in South Africa, and then we have the South African rand, those sanctions are powerful enough to make our currency so weak. I mean, look today. How much is the dollar versus the rand? That should tell you something. And if you're not aware, check how much was the rate of dollar and of the rand to the dollar 10 years back. You'll see a huge difference, So every year, with the change of governance, with the change of policies, the rand is affected. Because why? It's South African based. It's central. It has got a central authority. Now that is the problem. Bitcoin comes with a solution. They don't have. Bitcoin does not have a central authority. That means everyone can access, whether you are Zimbabwean, from Mozambique, South African, Angola, Malawian, you still can access Bitcoin because it's not restricted, So those are the fundamentals now of why Bitcoin came to be. Even with Bitcoin, when it started in 2009, we were just celebrating a few years back Bitcoin's birthday. So when it started, there was no demand for it. Nobody knew about this thing. There was no demand. And then, I think in 2010, when we were hosting the World Cup, one Bitcoin was R1.40 for one Bitcoin.
And we were busy with Philip is here. Can't people are buying Bitcoin for R1.40.
We're busy with vuvuzelas. Because sometimes we cannot even blame ourselves and stuff like that. But we have a government. We have a government who's supposed to, we have a government who's supposed to take world information and pass it down to the nation. I'm thinking, so not even Minister of Communication, Minister of Finance, no one at that time, did a small research about Bitcoin. It would be so far. At R1.40 per coin.
Goodness.
No, it would be too far.
My goodness.
Would be too far.
And the rest of the world was aware of this, and also the history of it, and also the possibilities. So people scooped it up and kept it.
Bro, there's people who bought 2 million
Bitcoin.
There's companies, there's institutions who just wanted the whole bag at R1.40. This guy, Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote this book, Poor Dad, Rich Dad.
Yes.
That guy talks about Bitcoin all the time. He adopted Bitcoin when in the early stages of Bitcoin. And when people laugh, he's like, I don't sell Bitcoin. I still buy Bitcoin to this day. That's what he's saying.
Sure.
He's still buying to this day, So that's how Bitcoin came to be, from how money, started from barter trade system to actually using a currency that does not have a physical form, that is digital, because the world is digital. You see, so that means now I don't have to be having, a certain debit card or carrying Bitcoins in my pocket. It's digital. I log into my account, I withdraw my money, or I make a transaction. It's all good. And the merchants now are starting to open up. If you go around the world, you'll see some merchants written there, Bitcoin accepted as a form of payment. Because
I've even seen Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, exactly. So the world is moving there now. Now those Bitcoin ATMs, if we would have an ATM as House of Crypto, we would be the smart ones, because it means people send us Bitcoins and then they want to withdraw cash. So we remain with Bitcoins. They take the fiat currency. So they take a currency that's losing value, and we're keeping one that's actually gaining value. You
Sure.
see, so that's how this Bitcoin thing came to be. It's a lovely concept. There's a lot of opportunities about it, but I wanted now to just speak about where does it come from, where is it going, and how does House of Crypto help us to actually align ourselves with it. I always say to people who come to the office, says, "Do you want quick money?" And they say yes. I say, "Go play lotto."
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
because here we're about education. Let's be fair. You want a pyramid scheme, you've come to the wrong place. You want a get rich quick scheme, you've come to the wrong place. Here we're gonna teach you, we're gonna show you exactly how to position yourself, how to accumulate this Bitcoin for your family, how do you solve some debt issues that we've been trying for so many years. How can we use this Bitcoin to our advantage, given the characteristics and the features of Bitcoin? Is this going to help us? Definitely, yes, it's going to help us. Then how do I position myself? How do I will always say, step one, do this. Step two, do that. Step two. I mean, a lot of people who come to me would be like, yo, thank you, because I wanted to get rich quick. I've lost a lot of money in the process of me wanting to get rich very quick. I've lost a lot of money. Now, can you show me how to do it? And the minute we sit down and we say, okay, this is how House of Crypto, these are ways you can accumulate cryptocurrencies. Which one do you want to do? If you say, I want to start doing, let's say, trading, no problem. This is what you must look out for. This is how best you can set out your account and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of things then that we do. So today we just wanted to speak about that and say, look, House of
Yes.
Crypto exists. House of Crypto is a registered company. House of Crypto is in East London. House of Crypto is assisting the community to build. If you are into entrepreneurship, if you are into investments, if you are into learning about cryptocurrencies, House of Crypto is that. We wanted to show you, if House of Crypto is all about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and stuff, where did Bitcoin start? Why did it start at that? Hence, we gave you the history of that. So we haven't mentioned anything about rands and cents today and millionaires and whatnot. We wanted to keep it
Yeah.
educational so that we can know that the minute we spend money, we have some, information. I always encourage people, persons, to go and research. After I've spoken,
Yes.
just take your phone, do a little bit of research. I love people who ask questions and say that I want to know this, I want to learn about this, because today money is in the information.
And I always encourage people to be skeptical, but don't be
Yes,
closed-minded. Take what
yes,
you've been
yes.
taught and go and verify it against information that you also know to be factual. If these two things meet,
True,
surely
true,
there's something to that.
true.
Before we go our separate ways for the day, for to give us where is House of Crypto, the address, like where can people find you? How can people get in touch, whether via email or by telephone? And what are the business hours in case someone right after this interview wants to say, you know what, maybe on my lunch break I need to pop into House of Crypto and see what they can expand about what they were talking about on radio. I'm very interested.
Okay, cool, man. We wanted to be in a very strategic place, and we thought Vincent would be actually awesome. So our office in East London is in Vincent, the Colonnade building, which is if people know where Multi Choice is, DSTV, Take a Lot, and whatnot.
Yeah.
We are the first office there. That's us. So that's our office there. It's a branded House of Crypto, Bitcoin office in East London. It's branded. You cannot miss it. So that's our office there. You can. We do normally have presentation times and everything, which we'll post on our page, which is House of Crypto. But then you can walk it at any time. You're gonna get assisted because maybe our presentation time would be the time you're working or you are not available on a Saturday. But if you've got, like Prasen said, on your lunch break, you wanna just pop in, do that. The office is always open. You can also call us if you wanna find out more information. House of Crypto is on WhatsApp. You can let us know by contacting us on WhatsApp 081 877 3749. 081-877-3749. Facebook page, House of Crypto. I think if you get on Facebook or WhatsApp or come to us, you 100% gonna get the right information, and you're gonna be satisfied. And you're like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Fantastic stuff. Mr. Soyiso Mpunzi from the House of Crypto. Masibambe apho namhlanje. An elephant is digested a bite at a time. Let's let people digest all we've spoken about, and we'll speak again on the 27th.
If you don't stop me, I will take 5 hours. I'll take 5 hours.
My brother, thank you so much, man, and have a fantastic day. Continue to do the good work, and we'll catch up with you next week.
No problem. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to our the listeners and your viewers. Much appreciated.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. His name is Soyiso Mpunzi.